Hi, my name's Molly. I'm one of the veterinary nurses here at Pennards, and today I'm going to be discussing some bandage tips with you. The first thing to look out for when your pet has a bandage is to make sure that there is no soiling. One of the ways of doing that is to check that the bedding is nice and clean and it's washed thoroughly prior to the pet coming home with the bandage. Another thing to remember is food and water. So to avoid them stepping in it and potentially soiling the bandage, it's a good idea to either secure it or raise it if possible. Another thing is to keep it covered when going outside to the toilet, either with a plastic bag or with a foot covering, and it's also really important to make sure it is removed when coming in to avoid any moisture build-up. So the next thing to look out for when your pet comes home with the bandage is any slipping or tightness on the bandage. Signs of that it could be slipping is that the wound can become exposed. We obviously want to avoid that to limit infection. The next thing is tightness. Signs that the bandage may be too tight can include biting or trying to chew at the area. The third bit we're going to look at is exercise. So whilst your pet has a bandage, we want to keep exertion to a minimal. One of the ways we can do this is by crating the animal. This will avoid them from getting into trouble whilst they're at home. The next thing to remember is to keep your dog on a lead when going out to the toilet. Overexertion can cause the following things like slipping, rubbing, or the bandage becoming too tight like we talked about previously. One thing to keep your pet entertained while they are having to have a bandage is mental stimulation. So things like using food games, sniffing and chewing, puzzle feeders, Kongs. It can also really help with the bonding of your pet whilst they're going through that time. If you're still struggling or have any questions, please give us a call. We're happy to help.